Yeah.
3.
Of course.
11.
Can you give me some chips?
Garrett, 3-betting the suited ace. Ace 3 of spades. James is going to defend his open. Well, pretty good flop for ace 3 of spades. 10, 5, 7, 2 spades.
Run it through the machine. Give me 1,000 purple, 2,000 white, the rest 1K.
Wait. 33.
Wow. Look at this. James decides to check raise. King, queen, 5, 7, 7, 2 spades makes it 3,300. And earlier we saw this exact scenario where James check raised with a flush draw on the flop and hit it on the turn. This time, Garrett has the flush draw.
We agree there, Harry.
Yeah, so nice. I love coming here. Just even coming.
James
just
checks
watch the
again.
sports
Yeah,
in
it's
private room, playing 20, 40, 80 or something.
Yeah.
On a Saturday, you know. Fucking go.
Garrett checks it back. River is a 9, bring in a one-liner. 7, 8, 9, 10. Ace high is best. If there was ever a time to go for it, this would be it for James. You're going to show up with the 6 and the jack more often than Garrett. Plus you have king high. You know you need to bet to win.
65. 6,500.
6,500. Good bet by James. It should work. I mean, this would be like an impossible call with ace 3. So nice play there by James.
Sure you want to waste time playing a tournament? There's so much. $1,600.
The accountant
1,600.
with queens again. He had it not too long ago against Garrett. Makes it 1,600 out of the big blind. Andy, the pre-flop raiser, he's going to call. James sandwich in between. He's going to call. So here we go. 1,600 three ways. Well, annoying flop for the accountant. King high, but queens are best. Check through on the flop. James is double gutted now. Queen or a 9 would give him a straight. The accountant still has the best hand.
2,500.
This is pretty funny. James needs a queen or a 9 for a straight, and he's up against queens and 9s. 2,500 from the accountant.
How was your vacation? Where do you went on vacation? Where you go to SeaWorld or something?
No. I'm supposed to go to a concert. Concert was done. Sorry you asked who I was, but that was fun. You like the guy with the short legs? God damn it,
Well, I called you a penguin because your hands are so
I'm
fucking
pretty
short.
sure
No,
that
there's
Andy
nothing wrong with a penguin.
did not raise the 3,000 after getting 2,500 bet into. The graphics are messed up. I think it's on James right now.
10,000.
And James, thinking he has lots of outs here, makes it 10,000. Yeah, Andy called the 2,500. Andy with a pair open-ended. James making it 10,000. Pretty tough spot for the accountant. The thing is, for the accountant, James is repping more than a pair of kings in this spot. You want the accountant to have hands like queen jack, spades, or clubs. You have 2 queens in your hand, so you block a hand like queen jack. You also have 1 club.
I haven't seen her.
Would he ever do this with a hand like ace jack or ace queen of spades? Something like that.
Yeah, he should be good, I think. Actually, I think he's off.
No, he was here last Tuesday. I usually see him on Tuesdays.
Sunday, Monday now? I know he's off on Monday.
Well, today's not Monday.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on Sunday, Monday, and I was pretty sure he was off Monday, Tuesday.
The accountant really going into the tank here. Doesn't know what to do. Finally decides to let it go. And nice play there by James. Seeing the opportunity for a check raise bluff. Nice spot. Goes check through on the flop.
You're on time shift now?
And after the pre-flop raiser bets the turn and just gets a call, feels the hands really just can't be that good. Like what hands is the accountant free betting and checking through on the flop and betting the turn?
Ante. Ante.
I mean, one hand for value might be pocket kings, something like that that he's trying to slow play.
Definitely curious about that one. I'll just see you later, brother. I can't be too happy.
I think you got me one of them.
Okay. It's a very good best round.
Three. Twelve. Heads up.
And on the heels of that last hand, James now with 2 red aces. Andy, pretty big flop here, 5-7 of clubs, flush draw and a gut shot. 1,200 and a call. Well, Andy's open-ended now.
5.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Raise.
2,500. And a raise from Andy. And James just looks absolutely stunned. You see that expression, this genuine surprise there on James's face.
10 seconds.
He's thinking, well, what are you repping here on the turn with the deuce? You just called me on the flop. Now you're check raising? I mean, the one obvious hand that is screaming is 5-6, open-ended on the flop, makes it straight on the turn. River is the 9 of spades. Pretty big brick, changes nothing. Does Andy want to go for it? Wow. He's going for it, and not in a small way either. How much was that? That's definitely an overbet. $30,000. 1.5x of the pot.
Never mind the fucking play.
Andy is pretty much saying, I have 5-6 in my hand. I have a straight.
10 seconds.
And the story with how the hand played out makes complete sense. You know, he called the pre-flop bet, called the flop, raised the turn, and now is bombing the river. Unfortunately for Andy, players in general have a special attachment to aces and they don't like to fold it. So even if his story makes complete sense and his bet is very scary, people just don't like to fold aces. James just whispered to himself, 5-6. All right, chat. 1 for call, 2 for fold. Get in your predictions now. He might be thinking for a while. Another factor that might be influencing Andy's play here is James is up a lot of money right now. If James wanted to, he could fold the rest of the show and be up quite a bit. You know, I don't know anything about James, his game, or how much this money means to him, but it's a general rule. With everything else being equal, you want to try to bluff people who are up because they don't want to lose, you know, the money they won, especially if they're up a lot.
10 seconds.
Like right here, Andy is betting almost Andy's entire, or Andy is betting James's stack almost. Putting all of his winnings into play right now, this hand, at this moment. I mean, this decision is the decision for his whole session, most likely.
Oh.
And James does call. What a call. And what a bluff.
Wait, hold on, does he cover?
He's got about 34.
You want to double check? You want
25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33.
He has more than 30.
What a hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got a sorry.
Yeah, that's-
Wow.
Andy putting in the massive overbet, $30,000.
The button here.
yeah,
But James,
Yeah, now you can leave your club sandwich.
after
Oh.
taking his time, decides, you know what? I have to go with it. 2 aces here.
I'll take
If you have 5-6, so be it.
Winner or loser, right?